Today, I managed to delete the content. So big up everyone that came in yesterday and interacted with the stream yesterday on obviously the 15 losses unacceptable by Ruben Amorim. Yeah, as I said, big up everyone for interacting. Big up for all your comments in the live chat. Big up for all the subscribers as well. But I've actually deleted the content by accident, which is annoying. So yeah, that video is no longer, which is very frustrating for me. So yeah, apologies for that. But as I said, these things happen, and obviously I have to just learn from these things and just try and make sure I don't do that again. But yeah, if you are looking for that video from yesterday, then again you won't find it because as I said, I actually deleted it by accident because I had 2 recordings and something happened. I thought I might have removed that recording, and it turns out I actually deleted the stream from yesterday. So yeah, apologies for that, guys, but big up yourselves anyway. So today, as I said, as you can see in the thumbnail, Wrestlemania 41 just concluded over the weekend, and again, if you had watched my streams from previously, you would see that obviously I'd done my predictions in terms of who I think was gonna win certain matches, you know, and as I said, like there was a few shocks that I did predict, you know, but there was also a few shocks in terms of people that I thought was gonna win actually didn't win, and we're gonna go through them now. So obviously WrestleMania, you know, biggest event of the year over 2 days, you know, obviously you got some title matches that define the next eras, really, you would say at times. And again, there was some shocks in the main event, and also there was obviously in terms of someone becoming the greatest, you would say, of all time in terms of title wins, and we're gonna go through them one by one. But guys, yeah, if you do like my content, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at GavGoesIn. So we're gonna start off obviously Saturday and Sunday over the 2 days. So first match we're gonna start with is for the US Championship, LA Knight, the holder, against the Bloodlines, Jacob Fatu, or should I say former Bloodline. Big up Don Don Kesu Jian. Guys, again, make sure you get involved in the live chat. I'm going to go through the WrestleMania matchups and see. So, I did say in my prediction that Jacob Fatu would win the big up Rafi Dimas. I did say that Jacob Fatu would beat LA Knight, and he did, obviously, with his moonsault. And for me, I did say that Jacob Fatu, you know, he's gonna be someone that's gonna be pushed for a world title. I'm not quite sure when, but I do believe yeah, big up. So I do believe that Jacob Fatu is going to yeah, as I said, I do believe he's going to be getting a push for a world title very soon. So bear with me one minute, guys. I don't know if this is legit, so yeah, big up, man. Whatever. Yeah, I thought it wasn't, but as I said, it's mad. This is coming to my chat twice now, trying to say you're gonna give me a channel strike for what reason. But anyway, big up yourselves, guys. Big up Mr. Wednesday as well. So as I said, Jacob Fatu, new US champion, you know, and I do think he is gonna get a massive push for the world title. How long is he gonna hold the US title for us, which is gonna be interesting. It depends really, because as I said, I do think Jacob Fatu, in terms of what he Mods, if you're in there, make sure you block this, man, because this is just distracting me at the moment. But anyway, so Jacob Fatu for me, as I said, I do believe that in terms of incoming champions, I do believe he's going to be one of the big stars in the future for me. Obviously LA Knight is another one as well, but for me, Jacob Fatu, very tough. For someone of his size, as we can see, he's very, very agile as well. The way he does those moonsaults, is mad, and obviously having a guy with that kind of agility, with that kind of size, to do their moonsaults are not easy. And to be honest with you, yeah, he is someone that I believe, in a not too distant future, you're gonna see him. You're gonna see him as a world champion for me, And as I said, that prediction for me, him for Jacob Fatu beating LA Knight, I predicted that right. So yeah, obviously new US champion, and I do expect Jacob Fatu to be holding on to that belt for a little while. Yeah, But whether he goes on a solo now and breaks away from Solo Sikoa and Tamatonga will be interesting to see. I can see that happening, because I think the whole bloodline storyline more or less done now. So yeah, I would say that he's someone that we should be looking at seriously to be getting a big push very soon. Next on, so women's champion, Tiffany Stratton defeats Charlotte Flair. For me, Tiffany Stratton, I didn't see this coming. I thought Charlotte Flair would have at least, got the record, and I think that was probably one of the shocks for me, because I thought Charlotte Flair was going to win that, but I think it's safe to say that Tiffany Stratton is probably going to be one of the next up and coming big stars. I think her idol is actually Charlotte Flair anyway, and that was a good fight, to be fair, good match that was. That was back and forth, but Tiffany Stratton winning it in the end with her moonsault as well. It's weird how two moonsaults can be the defining finishers for the first two fights, the first two matches that we're talking about. So yeah, Tiffany Stratton, man, yeah, she held on to that belt. And as I mentioned, I think there's a few of them that's going to be in the reckoning to be the women's champ. Big up to Steven. So Steven says Jacob Fatu won't beat Roman Reigns' title reign. To be honest with you, I don't think no one beats Roman Reigns. Big up Steven as well. I don't think no one beats Roman Reigns' title reign, to be honest with you. I think, what did he hold it for? Over, was it 1,000 days? I think he is someone that that's never going to be beaten for me in this modern era. I can't see that happening. And I think for me, Roman Reigns, again, we'll get back onto Roman Reigns in a bit, but I think that Jacob Fatu will definitely have a world title, but there's no way he's gonna be there's no way that he's gonna be holding the title for that length of time for me, But yeah, going back to Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, as I said, Tiffany Stratton keeping hold of the title. Charlotte Flair, I don't really know where she goes from here. Whether she goes and tries to get a rematch. I don't know. But as I said, I think Tiffany Stratton, along with a few others, are going to be at the forefront now. And I think in terms of Charlotte Flair, I think it's probably back to the drawing board. Unless I'm not sure if she's got a rematch clause, but I think the fact that she lost that at WrestleMania, it'll be interesting to see what happens from there, really. But yeah, so Tiffany Stratton, still the women's champion. And Be interesting to see who her next competitor is going to be. You know, I've got someone in mind who I'm going to go to right now, and that is Jade Cargill. Now, as I said, I believe Jade Cargill is one of big up Chantel Rose, big up Julita Lupatovics, and big up Mr. Itunjai Sharma. Yeah, big up guys for coming on. So Jade Cargill defeating Naomi. Now, as I said, I think Jade Cargill, for me, I think for sure she's going to be one of the biggest competitors in the women's division. You know, I think she has all the tools to be, you know, one of the greats, I would say. Yeah, thank you, man. Big up, Chantel. I think Jade Cargill has all the tools to be one of the greats in the women's era. You know, she's strong, she's agile. You know, her finishing moves are devastating. You know, she's got charisma as well. You know, so yeah, I think she has literally everything. You know, to be one of the best women's champions of all time. And again, if you follow Jay Cargill was actually in AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and I think she went as far as being undefeated for, I want to say it was probably past 50 matches. I think she was undefeated for, and I remember she got beat by, I think it was Chris Statlander. It might have been, and obviously she made her move obviously to WWE. But yeah, for me, it won't be too long before she's holding the world title for sure. I think someone of that talent, you know, of her stature as well, she's for sure going to be she's for sure going to be a champ, man. There's no doubt in that. And obviously she just dispatched off Naomi, and obviously a rival at the moment. But as I said, I predicted Jade Cargill to win this match, and she did comfortably in the end, really. So, you know, so I think out of these 3 matches so far, I've got one wrong, which was the Tiffany Stratton defeating Charlotte Flair. As I said, I thought Charlotte Flair was going to win that, but Tiffany's still the champ. And then I said Jade Cargill defeating Naomi. And again, I think it's going to be interesting to see where Naomi goes from here, because obviously her friendship with Bianca Belair is over. You know, obviously she's now a heel turn as well. Is she going to continue her feud with Jade Cargill? I think Jade Cargill now really should be looking at a world title. And as I said, I think the likes of Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, and Rhea Ripley, I think those 4. I know. You know, there's obviously they're not champs at the moment, but I think going into this new era for the women's division, I think those 4 are going to be the 4 to watch. I would say I think they're the 4 that are going to be dominating the women's division, and I think you would expect to see the title change hands a few times between those 4. Whether there's anyone else that can, you know, get involved and interrupt that, then it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, for sure, for me, Jade Cargill is going to be dominating this women's division, I believe. You know, moving on to El Grande Americano. Obviously, was meant to be facing Rey Mysterio, who obviously got an injury, but in turn fought Rey Fenix. Now, again, Rey Fenix, in terms of Rey Fenix's high flying moves, I mean, obviously luchador as well. For me, he's going to be one of the best in this WWE, I believe. Obviously, watching Rey Fenix and his brother Penta El Ceremiedo in AEW as well. You know, them 2 are tag team champions. But what impressed me was some of the moves that these guys were producing, you know. And again, I didn't see these 2 come into WWE, you know. But the fact that they're there, they're gonna make this this company an exciting an exciting place now, I would say, because as I said, having watched both of them in AEW, you know, 2 high flyers, you know, and Rey Fenix for me is probably one of the best luchadors I've seen. I mean, some of the moves this guy comes out with, and his balance, you know, his agility as well, is just unseen a lot of the time. But yeah, I do think Rey Fenix is going to be one of the best in one of the best in WWE in a few years to come. Do I see Rey Fenix going for a world title? I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, because obviously I remember Rey Fenix more as a tag team with his brother Penta. But I can see him getting a singles title. Maybe it might be like an intercontinental title, you know, the US belt. World title, I'm not too sure yet, but I think in terms of what he has in his armory, I don't see no reason why not. El Grande Americano, obviously, as we know, is Chad Gable. From American Made. Um, Big up Suhaib Khan. Big up number one Man City fan. Yep, I do remember you, bro. Big up for coming on, guys. As I said, if you like my content, make sure you check out my previous contents from my predictions for WrestleMania. And again, if you're a football fan, check out my other content as well. And if you do like the channel, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you subscribe. So, as I said, Chad Gable, from American Made, we all know that's El Grande Americano, and obviously, he got the win, albeit illegally, I would say. I think he put like some bar into his head, and obviously he's been doing the flying headbutt from the top rope, and that's how he got the win over Ray Phoenix. But yeah, again, meant to be fighting Rey Mysterio. Obviously, that injury happened and fought, obviously, another Rey, but in Rey Phoenix, and got the win. So, yeah, big up number one Man City fan. Yeah, 45 away, guys, from 1K subscribers. So, again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. But big up yourselves. Moving on. The New Day defeating the War Raiders, and again, one that I got right, which makes the New Day the new tag team champions. Obviously they've broken away from Biggie. They've obviously got a new theme song as well, changed attitudes. They're now heels as well, and again, I didn't have no reservations about saying New Day were going to win this. Against the War Raiders. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say on that one. I think New Day were always going to be the winners for this one. And yeah, they're now, I can't remember how many titles they've held now, but I think, I don't see who's going to challenge them at the moment, at Raw. But yeah, obviously they're going to go from strength to strength, I think, the New Day. War Raiders, whether they get a rematch, I'm not too sure. But as I said, yeah, I think the New Day were going to be the new tag team champs. I predicted that. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Moving on, guys. Jey Uso defeating Gunther. Now, again, another one that I got right. And for me, as I said, Jey Uso at this moment in time is probably one of the biggest WWE superstars, along with probably Cody Rhodes, I would say. And yeah, Jey Uso, for me, I said he was going to win this from the beginning, because I remember he went close last time, and I think Gunther beat him. But I did say that there was going to be a few twists, which again didn't happen. Jey Uso actually defeating Gunther with Gunther's move actually as well, the rear naked choke. And what I thought was going to happen in this fight, because if you remember, Gunther actually attacked Jimmy Uso in front of Jey Uso. So I thought it was going to be a case where, and it was a long shot. I thought Jimmy Uso would have turned on his brother, because I think it might have been a case where he might be looking at his brother, who's getting more recognition than what he is. His brother's on the verge of becoming the world champion. So I thought Jimmy Uso would have looked at it and thought, he's allowed Gunther to attack him while he was there. And I thought Jimmy would have taken exception at that and double-crossed his brother, which, again, I didn't want to happen, and I'm glad it didn't happen, but I thought that could have been a story that they would have gone with. But obviously that didn't happen, and obviously Jimmy Uso's come out to celebrate with his brother as well. And Jey Uso is now world champion for the first time, and thoroughly deserved, man. Obviously broken away from the bloodline, which again, I did like watching the bloodline with Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn was in there as well with Paul Heyman, the Wise Man. So I think that was good. Yeah, big up to Wince VRSC. Guys, if you are wrestling fans, make sure you put your comments in the chat. Let me know what you think of WrestleMania. Let me know what you think of some of the matchups. If you thought other people were going to win their matches. Just give me your questions, guys. But big up each and every time. And again, if you do like my content, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel. As number one Man City fan said, I'm only 45 subscribers away from 1K. So as I said, if you do enjoy the content, check out my other content as well and help me get to 1K, guys. But big up yourselves. So yeah, Jey Uso defeating Gunther, as I said, and thoroughly deserved. So again, breaking away from the bloodline to now be world champion. Again, I didn't see that happening, but I think Jey Uso has been on a roller coaster of wins, you know. And again, his profile now in terms of being one of the biggest superstars, you know, obviously with his yeet, you know, and yeah, he's got a massive backing behind him and thoroughly deserved that. Again, Gunther was champ for a little while, and I think it'd be interesting to see what Gunther does now. Does Gunther go for a rematch against Jey Uso? Or does he try and target another championship? You know, or does he try and go for, you know, for a bit of a different path now? You know, but he was a dominant champ, and but I think Jey Uso was going to win this, and I predicted that. And then we move on to the main event from Saturday. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Big up to Hemant Roy. Hemant Roy says, bro, Seth, Braun, and Austin Theory, new team members. What, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Austin Theory? What, you think they should make make like a group or something? Big up yourself as well. So yeah, just going back onto that. So Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Now, guys, again, if you check my my prediction for this one, I think I called this right, if I remember, because I could see where this was going. You know, and again, you might think I'm not telling the truth, but again, if you get a chance to check my my predictions in one of my previous content, again, I put it into chapters, and I predicted, if I remember, I predicted this was going to happen. You know, because the way this was building up was because I said Roman Reigns was going to win this first and foremost, because I thought it was going to be a case where Roman Reigns was going to be propelled back into the world title shot by winning this fight. But I did say something's going to happen, and it's going to include Paul Heyman, you know. So, again, if you don't know already, guys, Paul Heyman was previously with CM Punk as a CM Punk in CM Punk's corner. Okay, Herman Roy, I'm going to get back to you in a minute, bro. But big up for coming on. Big up for your question as well, because you might be onto something here. But I'll get back to that in a minute. And obviously, he was the wise man for Roman Reigns. Now, I did say when Seth Rollins curb stomped CM Punk and said to Paul Heyman, "You now owe me a favor." At the time, I thought, you know, there could be something. There could be something here. Big up, Reluctant Gamer. Big up, bro. Big up for coming on. And I did say at the time, there's something that's going to happen with Paul Heyman here. And when he double-crossed CM Punk, I predicted that. Because I thought, you know, he's going to make it seem as if he's a CM Punk guy, but then he's going to double-cross him. So I predicted that. Where I didn't see it coming is the Roman Reigns one, you know. And the fact that he double-crossed Roman Reigns as well is going to make for good viewing, because now he's obviously with Seth Rollins. And I kind of predicted this because if you look at Paul Heyman, who has he been in the corner of? He's always been in the corner of, you know, the top superstars. Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. And if you look at Seth Rollins is in that tier as well. So was I surprised that he's with Seth Rollins now? No. Am I surprised that it happened at WrestleMania? Kind of, because I see this. I see I did see him double crossing CM Punk, but I didn't know it was going to be with Roman Reigns. That's what I didn't. That's what I didn't realize. But to be honest with you, yeah, I think where Roman Reigns and CM Punk go from here, um, is going to be interesting to say because I mean, do Roman Reigns and CM Punk develop a rivalry with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman for a little while now, which is going to be interesting, because for me, these are three of the guys that should be competing for the world title for me. They're three of the biggest superstars in WWE right now, and the fact that they had a triple threat match, which is good, but I want to know what's going to happen now because what's the storyline? Because I think that obviously Roman Reigns losing his wise man, CM Punk losing his best friend, and then you've got Seth Rollins now really defeating both of them in the triple threat match. Has got Paul Heyman as his manager now, and yeah, what does this mean? Does it mean it's going to be another title run for Seth Rollins? But where does that leave Roman Reigns? Because I don't believe Roman Reigns and CM Punk develop a rivalry because all eyes will be on Seth Rollins for this. So it's going to be interesting to see because I would like to see personally these three continue a feud, but maybe going for a title fight, I would say, which I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but yeah, it's mad. But again, I kind of expected this to happen with Paul Heyman, and it didn't disappoint. But big up, guys. Just talking about some of the questions. So Heman Roy says, bro, believe me, the new authority is coming back like 2014 era. Okay, yeah, big up Heman Roy. So you reckon that Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and Austin Theory are going to create a new authority? What is this something you've been hearing, or is it just because I'll be honest with you, I didn't really look at it like that. So Seth and Bron will win, bro, in Backlash, brother. Okay. To be fair, I didn't really see that, Bron Breakker, Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory. Because obviously Austin Theory is with his other partner, I can't remember what his name is. Bron Breakker is more of a, can I see Bron Breakker becoming part of a team at the moment? I can't. He seems like he's someone that wants to be, on his own. Obviously lost his title, but I think that would be good. If he creates a faction with Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker, I think that would be interesting. Didn't really see that one coming, but yeah, I'm here for that. Big up to Lumi Rain. Lumi Rain says, when's your next football talk stream? Possibly tomorrow. I'm gonna try and do one tonight, but it's unlikely. But check out my schedule. If I put one on my schedule, you can still ask questions exactly as Gamer said. Yeah. If you guys, if you have any football talk, then obviously be sure to put that in. Obviously today is a bit of a different one, talking about Wrestlemania, the matchups, and but yeah, if you have any football talk, yeah, be sure to put that in. And again, if you've only just joined as well, apologies, guys. The stream yesterday, I've actually deleted it. So if you can't find that stream from yesterday, which was very interesting, I've actually deleted it by accident. And obviously, YouTube's rules, you can't get any deleted content back. So big up everyone for tuning yesterday. But unfortunately, yeah, I can't get that stream back because I've actually deleted it. But big up yourselves. So yeah, guys, that was Saturday's matchups. And again, I predicted. Let me see how much I got right on Saturday. So I predicted Jacob Fatu to beat LA Knight. That happened. I predicted Charlotte Flair to beat Tiffany Stratton, which didn't happen. I did predict Jade Cargill to beat Naomi. I predicted Rey Mysterio to beat El Grande Americano, but obviously he fought Rey Fenix. but El Grande Americano still won that. I did predict New Day to defeat the War Raiders. I predicted Jey Uso to beat Gunther, and I predicted Roman Reigns to win the triple threat match. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 right, and the 2 wrong were the triple threat match and the women's title. So just before we go into Sunday's one, just going through some of your questions, guys. Big up each and every time. So Scuba Steve says, please watch your language. My kid really looks up to you. We listen back to you, and at times it's quite offensive. Whoa. Big up Scuba Steve for coming on. And again, how I say things is how I say things. If you find it too offensive, then again, there's not much I can do about that, man. Because at the end of the day, I'm expressing my opinions from the heart, and sometimes, I might go overboard, but it is what it is, But yeah, if you do enjoy the content, then as I said, make sure you are tuning in. If it's not for you, then by all means, that's fair enough. But yeah, big up yourselves anyway. Just gonna go on to Lumi Rain's question. It said, who will win? Who will finish in the top 5? So we went through this yesterday. For me, the top 5 in the Premier League. And guys, I don't want no one to rule out Arsenal. Because I know Arsenal are 6 points ahead of Nottingham Forest in 3rd. But I do believe, Arsenal could get called back into this top 5 finish, top 6 finish, should I say? Because all it takes is a couple of losses or draws and the other teams to win, and Arsenal might find themselves back in it. Obviously, at the moment, they've got a 6-point cushion. But again, they've still got to play Liverpool. They've still got to play United, which is not really a surprise really for them. But I still think, Man City could actually catch them. Man City playing today as well. And Man City are a point behind. I think they're a point behind Nottingham Forest in 3rd. So if they win their game today, that's closing the gap against Aston Villa. Again, that won't be an easy game. But my top 5, if we're not including Arsenal, I'm gonna say Man City. I think Chelsea will get in there as well. I'm gonna say Newcastle. And then, so Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle, and if we say Arsenal make up 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 6th place. I don't know, because Nottingham Forest are doing well, man. They are actually surprising. I think Aston Villa realistically would need to beat Man City today for me if they're to do anything, if they're to try and get these Champions League places. I do believe Aston Villa can get there, but I think a statement of intent to carry on their 4-1 win against Newcastle is to beat Man City at the Etihad today. And if they do that, I'll probably go as far as saying Aston Villa get in there, But again, it's going to be a race to the finish, because I would say that Nottingham Forest would be one of the teams that won't make it. But they beat Tottenham yesterday, and I have to say Nottingham Forest, they could be the surprising team of the season, because they're hanging in there, because they had a cushion before. Obviously, that cushion's been cut now, but they've now got themselves back up to 3rd position. So again, there's still a long way to go, because, as I said, don't count out Arsenal, because Arsenal are 2nd now, and all it takes is 2 games for Arsenal to, let's say Arsenal lose their next 2 league games, and a Man City, a Newcastle, and a Forest, or a Chelsea win their next 2. Arsenal are now dragged into this, you know what I mean? So there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. But if I'm putting my money on it now, who do I think doesn't get into the top 5? It's tough. It's literally tough. I'll probably have to say Aston Villa. But again, if Aston Villa win tonight, then I think Aston Villa are certainty to get in there. So it could change, man. But it's exciting. That's what I would say. But big up yourself, Lumi Rain. So John Paul Hairdressing says Real Madrid is the best, not this season. So obviously they're second in La Liga, out of the Champions League, and as I said, yeah, it's panic stations for Real Madrid this season. I would say. I think, as I said, if you've been watching my content, then I believe Real Madrid need to address some problem areas in their team. Striker, then they need to get a proper striker in there, which is going to upset the balance of the front three. Rodrigo, for me, needs to move on for the betterment of his career because he's undervalued in this team amongst the likes of Mbappe, Bellingham, and Vinicius Jr. And Real Madrid, if they're not going to play Arda Güler as a 10, he needs to move on for the betterment of his career. And they need to get someone who's an actual number 10 in place of Bellingham. That's the only. These are the uncomfortable truths that people probably don't want to hear. But Bellingham and Mbappe are a problem for this team going forward because you've got two players playing in positions that they're not even those positions. So for me, Real Madrid, and again, it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation. But for me, Real Madrid, if they want to be successful again, they need to remove Bellingham and Mbappe from those positions from the lineup. You know, which is going to be a hard thing to do because of the money they're on, the stature they have in the game. But you've heard it here first, guys. If Real Madrid continue to play Mbappe and Bellingham as the 9 and the 10, Real Madrid are not doing anything of note in the big games. That's the truth. Because these are two players that are not even, like, Mbappe's not a striker. He plays where Vinicius Jr. plays, but Vinny's there. So unless Vinicius Jr. leaves and Mbappe plays there, Mbappe playing as a 9, especially in the big games where it matters, he's going to be underwhelming. And Jude Bellingham is not a number 10, never has been. He's just a willing runner. And if Bellingham continues to play as a 10 in this Real Madrid system, because again, the number 10 position, you need to be a connector. You need to be someone like an Arda Güler, for instance, who can connect the midfield to attack, whether it be receiving the ball, you know, playing the through ball to your striker. But the profile that Bellingham is to be playing in that position, you know, isn't good enough, and he isn't that type of player. So they have big problems. Again, Ancelotti looks like he's going to be moving as well. But for me, they need to address those two areas. And again, on the right-hand side, they need to get, for me, a left-footed inverted on that side and either let Rodrigo play as a false 9 or Rodrigo moves on because Rodrigo's not going to play where he wants to play or where he does play on the left. So for me, I think he has to move on because he's got too much ability to be the fourth wheel in this team. That's the truth, you know. But I do trust Real Madrid, you know, to get it right because this is a team that is full of winners. And well, I say full of winners. The club is a winning club, you know. And the fact that, as I said yesterday, there's talk about Ancelotti being moved on. You know, who would have thought that? Because Ancelotti is one of the best managers to be in the game. And but this just shows how ruthless Real Madrid are. And again, if you want to get anywhere in life, you know, if you want to be successful, you have to be ruthless. And this is what Real Madrid are. And I respect that. So, you know, but big up you and White. So Gamer says, hope City beats Villa. You know what, Gamer? What I would say is that I can see Man City. I can see Man City winning. As I said, don't be surprised if Man City either run Arsenal close to second place or overtake them, because I think they'll go on a momentum run now. And again, I think they've got more of a favourable running, I believe, than what Arsenal might have. And again, I think if anyone's got the league table up in front of them, How many points are Man City off Arsenal? So I think if Man City was to beat Aston Villa, I'm pretty sure there might be like 5 points in it or something like that, which is nothing really. But big up. So so Lumi Rain says, if United win Europa, does that mean only top four get Champions League? No. So what happens if United win the Europa League? That means United will be in Champions League, and it's still going to be the top five teams, I believe, because I think I think England got an extra place because when Arsenal beat Real Madrid, so it'll be it'll definitely be the top three, and then I think it'll be fourth and fifth place, I believe. So I think you could have 6 teams in the Champions League from England, I believe, if United was to win Europa. If I'm wrong, then make sure you put that in the chat, because I think it's 6 teams if United was to win Europa. Because I think the fifth place is definitely Champions League football as well. So yeah, I think there could be 6 teams. So Gamer says, I think Liverpool are better than Real Madrid this season because Liverpool beat them already, but Real Madrid is the greatest club ever. Yeah, Liverpool. I mean, if you look at Liverpool's run up until when they got beat by PSG, they were unbeaten. You know what I mean? They were beating everyone. But again, this format of the Champions League is good because it don't matter what kind of form that you're on. You know, it's about getting to the latter stages. Look at Real Madrid. They were struggling to qualify, if anyone remembers, and then look at them. They got all the way to the quarterfinal. So this format is actually quite good because all you need to do really is qualify, be a bit consistent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if you win every game up until qualifying, because you can get beat in the quarterfinal or the round of 16, which is what happened to Liverpool. So yeah, man, it's mad. It's mad. But guys, big up. Just gonna get back onto Sunday's matchups. So Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, beating AJ Styles again. I didn't see that happening. And for me, AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers. Obviously, AJ Styles, formerly of TNA as well, and obviously with WWE now. Again, AJ Styles, man, one of my favorite wrestlers. The fact that he got beat by Logan Paul is mad. But what I would say, Logan Paul's finisher, I can't remember what it's called. That's actually a sick finisher, to be fair. Where he flips him over his shoulder, and then as they come down, it's like a DDT. You know, I like Logan Paul's finisher, to be fair. But him beating AJ Styles, for me, it was mad. And again, I don't really know where AJ Styles goes from here, because when AJ Styles arrived in WWE, I thought for sure he'd be going for a world title fight, but that hasn't happened. Obviously, he's been off for a little bit as well. So yeah, that was surprising, man. But yeah, Logan Paul, man, who would have thought, man? Guy would have gone on to beat AJ Styles. Mad. Next, the street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Again, I thought Damian Priest was going to win this, and Drew McIntyre, the Scottish warrior, you know, secures the win. I forgot what his I can't remember what his finisher's called. If anyone knows his finisher, I forgot what it's called. But yeah, no, he beat Damian Priest. That was a good match, to be fair. I thought Damian Priest was gonna win that. You know, he said he's gonna bring the fight to Drew McIntyre, which he did. But in the end, Drew McIntyre obviously got the win. And yeah, madness. But again, I think this isn't done yet. I think these two are gonna have a bit more of a longer rivalry to come, in my opinion. But yeah, no, he's. I think these two will be going for another title fight soon. But I think this rivalry, I don't think it's ended there. You know, even though if it was, I think I can see these two fighting in like a Hell in a Cell. I can see that happening. You know, a cage match. I can see that happening. Or a last man standing. You know, I can see that being of possibility as well. But yeah, so Drew McIntyre getting the win. But as I said, for me, it's far from over, I would say. Um, so Crawley Eagle says, how big is the FIFA Club World Cup? Is it bigger than the Champions League? So basically, what the FIFA Club World Cup is basically the winners, the more I think it's over 4 years. The more recent winners of the Champions League, or teams that have got to the latter stages, so they compete in the FIFA Club World Cup. So so you'll get the winners of the Copa Libertadores in obviously Argentina, obviously Brazil playing it as well. So whoever wins that gets into the FIFA Club World Cup. I think if you're a runner-up as well, you get that. So yeah, it's the teams that have done well. I think it might be the last 4 years in the Champions League in terms of getting to the latter stages, into the finals, semi-finals. I think that's how it works. But is it bigger than the Champions League? Uh, Not really. I think you're getting teams that have won their equivalent. So the teams that have won their equivalent in their countries, they obviously get into the Club World Cup. But I would say Champions League is probably better. Is probably bigger, I would say, and the format this season is probably better than it has been, rather than the group games, because you want to see the best teams play against the best in Champions League. It's like a new format of the Super League that was trying to go on. So yeah, I'm happy with that, to be honest with you. So yeah, Logan, bro, he does, man. Logan Paul does bring a lot of viewers to watch WWE now. Obviously, I've been watching WWE for years, and whether it's WWE, WCW, AEW, TNA, ECW, yeah, I've watched all of it, man, from back in the day. So yeah, mad. But moving on, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch making her comeback. Obviously, it's meant to be Bailey, but Bailey got injured, got attacked. Again, her getting attacked, I'm not sure who that was by. Was it by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, or was it by someone else that wanted her out of the match? Who knows? And again, Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defeating Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to be the new tag team champions. And obviously, having watched Raw this morning, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but let's just say that it was interesting. It was shortly lived, let's just say. But yeah, Becky Lynch, man, making a long-awaited return. And again, it's going to be interesting to see if Becky Lynch is going to be back in the reckoning for a singles title, or is she going to stay tag team partners with Lyra Valkyria, But again, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, so you have to work that one out yourself. Intercontinental Champion, and I did get this one right. I did say Dominic Mysterio was going to win. I don't know why I thought that, but I can just see that, because I think all eyes pointed towards Finn Balor from Judgment Day winning the title. But I just thought, you know what, Dominic Mysterio is gonna shock people, and I was right. Obviously, now creates a bit of a problem in Judgment Day. Again, Finn Balor for me is another guy that should be going for a world title fight. And it's not going to sit right with him that Dominic Mysterio is the champ in Judgment Day now. Penta, again, I think Penta is early days for him, but Penta will grab a championship, whether it's a tag title with his brother or whether it's singles. And again, Bron Breakker. So if it's believed to, if someone put in the chat earlier, Bron Breakker is going to have an authority faction with Seth Rollins and Austin Theory. If that happens, again, that's going to be interesting, because I do like when there's groups that are formed, I think it does make it interesting to see who's going to go up against them. So, yeah, I'm here for that, definitely. So, and then obviously you got the two final ones. So you got the triple threat women's title, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, with Io Sky winning. Now, again, this is something that shocked me, because I said one of Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley was going to win this. Never did I think that Io Sky would have retained. And that isn't because Io Sky isn't good. I think I think everything pointed towards her getting beat because, in terms of Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, they got a bigger status than her. Even if you look at the build up to it, the promos and that, it was more about them two, leaving out Io Sky, who was actually the champ. And the fact that Io Sky won that, that's mad, really, because I didn't see that happening. But what I would say is, do I see Io Sky hold on for that title for a little while? I don't know. Again, Io Sky, formerly of AEW as well. I don't know if she holds on to her title for too long. I don't know, because I think Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, I think, are going to be women's champs soon, just like I think with Jade Cargill. So I think those three there, I can see those three being champ, whether it's for Tiffany Stratton's title or for Io Sky's title. But those three, I think, will be champs sooner or later, you know. And then again, guys, the main event. Again, I predicted this. So, John Cena defeating Cody Rhodes to become the new WWE champion and also becoming the greatest ever champion in the history of the sport. 17 world title reigns, breaking Ric Flair's record of 16 to become the most decorated champion of all time. And again, I saw this coming. And yeah, it's mad because I never saw John Cena becoming a heel, and basically siding with The Rock to stab Cody Rhodes in the back. I didn't see that coming. But the fact that he's champ now, he's done something that no one else has done, which is crazy. And again, you have to say, man, John Cena is one of the greatest superstars of all time, and he's made himself number one with the most title reigns now of 17, which again is that going to be broken? I think the only person really that can break that of recent time, you probably say, is Randy Orton. And again, having watched Raw this morning, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that because I think if Randy Orton wins the next title, he's on 15, which is obviously too short of John Cena now. So he could be in the reckoning. I don't know, but can I see John Cena's 17 getting broken? I don't really know. I don't know if Randy Orton does it either because he's only on 15, and obviously he'll have to lose the title another couple of times and then win it back, which I don't know if he's gonna do. But he's the closest one. Could I see Randy Orton breaking Ric Flair's record? Possibly. I don't know. But I think the only person really I would say that can do that is possibly Roman Reigns. Probably. I'm not sure how many title reigns Roman Reigns has had, but I know he obviously in this modern era he's held the title for the most amount of times. So I can possibly say Roman Reigns or Randy Orton, but again, big up John Cena, man, for breaking that record set by Ric Flair of 16, and now he's the outright holder on 17. And then obviously Cody Rhodes, where does he go from here? Is he got a rematch clause instilled there? I'm not too sure. But obviously Cody Rhodes had a great title run as well, defeating Roman Reigns' long streak as well at WrestleMania 40. But yeah, getting beat. So yeah, it's mad. But out of those guys, I predicted Logan Paul. So AJ Styles, I got that wrong. I predicted Damian Priest, I got that wrong. I predicted Lyra Valkyria and Bayley to win, even though it was Becky Lynch. So I got that right. Dominic Mysterio got right. I predicted Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, got that wrong. And then I got the John Cena beating Cody Rhodes, I got that right. So, so over the 2 days, I'm pretty happy with my predictions. There was a lot of twists and turns, a lot of surprising betrayals, you would say, as well. But you know what? Arguably one of the most exciting WrestleManias, for a little while in terms of the matchups, and going into a new season, you would say. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more twists and turns. So I'll be here for it, guys. But yeah, if you are a wrestling fan, as I said, make sure you put your comments in there. Just going to go through some of the chats before we wrap up. So, Latin Gamer says there could be a Man City versus Villa final in the FA Cup. Yeah, I could see that. I can't remember who Man City got though. Oh, Man City got Nottingham Forest, I believe. Yeah, and Palace have got Villa. So yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think Man City win this FA Cup. If I'm honest, I think there is. I mean, I can't see Pep going through a whole season without winning nothing and then finishing as low as they might finish in the league for some time. So I think Man City will win something for sure. Whether it's going to be the FA Cup, yeah, I think they'll win the FA Cup. Should I say? Sorry. Something's going to happen. I think they'll win the FA Cup and they'll get in Champions League. I can't see them finishing outside the Champions League places. I think that's not going to happen. But and then Venom says it's been a long time since I watched WWE, but I see Rhodes retaining his title. So big up Venom, but yeah, Cody Rhodes got beat at WrestleMania for the title. Does he retain his title? I'm not too sure. I don't know because again, there's gonna be a few wrestlers that are gonna have something to say about that. As I said, I mentioned Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. They might be in for a title fight coming up. Whether they develop a rivalry again, whether they go for the singles titles again, I think that could be in motion. Randy Orton, could be going for a title fight as well. So yeah, there could be some surprises as well. So what I would say, yeah, is I think going into this new season now, I think there's gonna be some shocks and yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because I think there's a few competitors there that should be going for titles, but whether that happens, we'll have to wait and see, man. But guys, big up everyone for coming on. As I said, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do at GavGoesIn. Again, make sure you smash that like button, guys. It helps the channel to grow. Last time I checked, I'm on 954 subscribers, obviously on the road to 1K. So again, if you guys do like my my content, make sure you check out my other content as well. Make sure you check out my shorts as well. So there's some interesting shorts on there. Some goals, football goals. So yeah, make sure you check that out, guys. As I said, and again, if you've got any questions to put in the live chat, as long as it's respectful, then I'm here to answer. I'm here to answer your questions and that. So yeah, big up yourselves. Big up to Latin Gamer each and every time, my mod, doing his job as well. So yeah, big up, man, each and every time. Big up to where is he? Big up to Lumi Rain as well. Big up Lumi Rain for your questions in the chat as well. Big up to Ewan White. Big up to John Paul Hairdressing. Cameron Lampard. Yeah, guys, big up everyone for coming in and contributing. Big up to Herman Roy as well. Yeah, everyone that contributes to the channel, whether you're giving me some good questions, smashing that like button and subscribing. Yeah, appreciate that each and every time. Before we wrap, Venom says, you a United fan, mate? I am. Obviously, my content's about Man United and just general football talk from all teams. Obviously, wrestling, boxing, UFC. But first and foremost, yeah, Man United fan. Again, if you watch some of my other content, you'll see my views on this current shambles of a team and this manager. But yeah, today was a WrestleMania look back. But tomorrow, or maybe tonight if I get time, I think most probably tomorrow, I'll be back on discussing some of the news about Man United. So hopefully, I've been hearing some news. United are more or less got a deal agreed with Matthias Cunha. I don't believe that for a fact. I think United do this a lot of the time, have a poor result and then link to some other players. But as I said, and I'll keep saying this, Ruben Amorim, He has one mission this season, and that is to win Europa League. If he doesn't win Europa League, he has to go. I don't want to see him next season because this season has been unacceptable in terms of the points total, 38 points at the moment, in terms of how the team's been performing, his team selection, there's so many issues. 15 losses this season for Man United is an absolute disgrace. So, again, he has one mission, and that's Europa League. And if that doesn't happen, just where Man United find themselves in the league, I don't want to see him continue next season. I think I've seen enough, That's what I got to say about that. But guys, big up each and every time. So Gamer says, if City gets smashed tonight, you might be back on Laugh Out Loud. Yeah, bro, I might be, man. I'll see. If I've got time, then I'll try and come back on tonight if I can. It's unlikely, so I don't want to promise anything. But again, I'll always schedule a stream anyway, so you guys can see if you got your notifications on when I'm live. But my prediction for tonight, I think City win. I'm gonna say 2-0 City. I'll go for 2. It wouldn't surprise me if City concede, but I think City win the game at home. 2-0. I think if City was away, I would say the best they would probably get is probably a draw. But I think because they're at home and they need to win, crowd behind them, I can see them win this game. So I'm gonna say 2-0. But yeah, a draw, I wouldn't be surprised at. But I'm gonna say 2-0. And I think they'll close the gap to Arsenal as well. And I think if City win, they go into third. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But guys, big up each and every time. As I said, big up Reluctant Gamer, bro, each and every time. And as I said, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Smash that like button. And I'm gonna catch you guys in a bit. Take it easy.